What's going on? This is Cody, and you are tuned in to B-Boy 45, broadcasting from the Seacrest Studios here at Children's Hospital, Colorado. And it is a very special day here, not just because it's Wednesday, because it's bingo day, but it is special because it's another special edition of the latest news to keep you in the groove with Maya. Maya, who's on the line with us today?
Stephen Amell.
Oh my gosh, Stephen Amell. Oh, there was supposed to be some applause there. Wait, hold on.
That's okay.
There it is. Everyone's so excited to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you two?
Good.
I think Maya's just barely speaking. So I think that's, in her world, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Maya, I don't know if people can people see you for this? Are people going to be able to see you?
Yes.
Okay, well, I would be intimidated too if the green arrow was poking out over my right shoulder blade.
That's pretty cool, right? All right, Maya, you take it away, girl.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for calling in. I can't tell you how much it means to me to be talking to you. Arrow is always my go-to show.
Cool.
When I just need to be distracted, escape the world.
Sure.
And and it was my escape when I went through radiation. So
Okay.
thank you.
Hey, Maya, do you remember, how old are you?
18.
So do you remember the first time that you watched it? Do you remember how old you were?
I had been wanting to watch it when it was on, but I was only able to during the pandemic finally started. So I watched all of it during the first half of quarantine.
Okay. All right. So we've spent a lot of time together is the moral of the story. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's nice to properly meet you then.
You too. So yeah, my first question is actually about Arrow. So I know that, so you played Oliver Queen, just for anybody who hasn't seen the show. And what was the best part about playing a superhero?
Well, you could get into the lives that you get to touch and the people that have found the show to help them celebrate good times or help them get through tough times. You could give an answer like that, but I am going to give the maybe unpopular answer that the best part about playing a superhero is wearing a superhero suit. Naturally. Have you ever worn a superhero suit?
No.
Well, I would suggest it. It's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, I will find one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We can work on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, Arrow and the Flash are what started my obsessions with superheroes. So.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. You're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah. Thank you. So could you relate to Oliver in any way?
Sure. Oliver has a younger sister. I had a younger sister. Oliver, when we first meet him, is terrible at surviving in the wilderness, and I am terrible at surviving in the wilderness right now. Oliver sometimes takes on too much responsibility and doesn't let other people help him. And that's something that sometimes I'm guilty of in my life, just in terms of not, delegating is the wrong word, but just maybe not trusting other people the way that I should. But, and I do like the color green. I do like the color green, and I like a nice suit and a suit and tie. I like wearing that sometimes when I want to get dressed up. But the rage and the vengeful side of Oliver, I don't think that I particularly relate to that. But so all the good parts. Give me the good parts. Take away the bad.
So Arrow created the Arrowverse on the CW. What was it like to create such an iconic world?
Well, thank you for that. But we really can only take credit for what we did on Arrow, what our crew and our cast and our writers and producers and directors did. All of the other shows, they each have their own identity and personality. They have their own style of shooting and storytelling. They have their own, temperature and color palettes. So we don't really take credit for that. I think that we were just lucky enough to be the first one. And I think also that Arrow gave everyone the confidence that they could do something like The Flash or Legends or Supergirl, because Arrow was really, when it was at its best, something that existed within Star City, and it was really about fighting crime on the streets and cleaning up the streets of Star City. And so once we proved that we could do that, maybe they felt a little bit more confident in introducing a character like Barry Allen, or like the Legends of Tomorrow, or Supergirl, or Superman. And so we just happen to be lucky enough to be the first one. It is nice though that it's called the Arrowverse. I will say that. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I know that you're a huge wrestling fan, and that you've made some professional wrestling appearances. Did you need to do anything special to prepare for your new show, Heels?
Well, any role that you do is like learning a new subject in school, right? Like, what's a new subject that you took recently that you didn't really know anything about?
I think, really, any science class that I took. Sure.
Like you learn about like the first time that you sit down in a chemistry class or a biology class, or physics. Sure. I mean, when you start, you don't know anything, right? When I started as Oliver Queen, I mean, I hadn't picked up a bow and arrow since I was like 12 years old, right? I had no idea. What's my superhero voice like? How do I walk in a superhero suit? What's Oliver like? What's the history of this character like? I didn't know any of that. So it's the same thing taking on Jack Spade in my new show, which you are not old enough to watch yet, Maya. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, not yet, 100%. Soon though. Give it a couple of years.
Okay. Well, I am 18, so.
Oh, okay, then never mind. I'm sorry, my bad. But the people that are watching this right now, okay, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But for
definitely not for young kids.
Sure, that's right. That's exactly right. Even though I have a young kid on the show. But when it comes to any new role, you just have to start with basically the equivalent of, a blank page. You need to figure out where the character's from, what its interests are, what his motivations are, what he holds dear. And then you need to look at any of the ancillary things that are going to come with playing the character. In this case, getting in a pro wrestling ring and looking believable as a pro wrestler in an independent professional wrestling circuit. So you just have to learn the basics: how to throw a punch, how to hit the ropes, how to fall on your back without smacking your head. You just have to learn all of those things. And the first rule of thumb, I think, is to begin at the beginning. Don't skip any steps. Master the basics first before you worry about anything else. And listen to the advice of people that are experts in that field. I need to learn a Southern accent. So you talk with an accent coach, a dialect coach is what they call them. I need to be doing pro wrestling. So you talk with someone who's a pro wrestler. You just find people that are better at it than you are and learn from them. And don't be afraid to steal from them a little bit too. It's the good kind of stealing. It's not the bad kind of stealing.
Yeah. Is there a show that you're currently obsessed with?
Well, I always like Survivor, right? Which is another great watch if you're looking to do some more binge watching, because they're on their 41st season of Survivor right now, believe it or not. I am watching The Simpsons a lot right now with my kiddo, and also an Australian show starring a couple of friends of mine called H2O, Just Add Water. I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with that show, but it's on Netflix. It's about 3 girls who all of a sudden become mermaids, and it's quite something. It's quite something. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I think I saw a couple episodes of it.
Sure. It's something. Well, I really like a lot of the shows that are on premium cable networks, like Heels. Like I really like Succession, and I'm rewatching the end of Breaking Bad, which is one of my favorite shows. I've heard really good things about Ted Lasso. I heard excellent things about Ted Lasso. So maybe that's something that you could check out as well.
I am actually watching that. My family and I watched the whole first season before the second one came out. So
cool. What do you think? Is it good?
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. I'm always obsessed with Saturday Night Live and always will be. And you know that the guy that plays Ted Lasso on that, Jason Sudeikis, who's on Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and I watch wrestling every week. I'm a fan.
Cool. Yeah, I since Saturday Night Live is on Peacock now, I've been going and watching a bunch of episodes of it, and I went back to the seasons that Jason Sudeikis was on, and I'm watching all of those. So
sure. Hey, what are some of your favorite shows that you're watching right now? Aside from anything you can't say anything in the Arrowverse. You can't say Ted Lasso. Okay, go for it. What are you watching?
Okay. We just finished watching season 2 of a show called The Other Two.
Yeah, I've heard about that. With my friend Josh is on it. That was on Arrow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Other Two. I'm going to write this down. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of my favorite shows. My mom and I binge watched the whole second season without my sister because she's at college. So I was like, well, sorry, but we're watching all this stuff without you. So yeah. And like my mom and I were just like crying from laughing so hard.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. That's on HBO Max, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we just finished the new season of Asa Butterfield's Netflix series that I can't say the name of, but that one is really good.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think what we on like aside from the streaming services. We're watching the new seasons of A Million Little Things.
Woo, yeah, I've got some friends on that.
Yeah. Okay, that is also one of my favorite shows.
Cool.
So yeah, we're watching that, and then a couple other shows.
Nice.
So
Okay, well, those are some good recommendations for me. Thank you.
yeah,
We'll have to stay in touch to get done. Certainly the other two, because you're like the seventh person that has told me to watch that.
yeah. And I interviewed Josh a couple years ago.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was before. I think I honestly don't remember if it was before the other two came or premiered, or I don't know. I'm all confused on like days, and everything is just getting jumbled together.
Well, I guess you got to say, right, since the pandemic started, it's kind of like Groundhog Day, right? Yeah.
And yeah, since the pandemic, I'm so confused on all that. And I'm like, yeah, this happened like a year ago. And then my mom and my sister were like, no, that just happened yesterday. So yeah, I'm not remembering anything correctly. So
all right.
Yeah. And actually, my mom has been watching Succession.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes that show.
It's a good show.
So, yeah. So what do you do to cheer yourself up when you're having a bad day?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I think it starts with my family. So my wife, Cassandra, and my daughter, Maverick. My wife's birthday is coming up. My daughter's birthday is coming up 10 days later, and she's going to be 8. And we spend our morning times together. So I like trying to find like quality daddy-daughter time, because I get busy with work. She's busy with school and busy with her activities. So we have our morning time, and like I'm taking her to her swimming lesson today, or she's on like a swim team now. So that always cheers me up. It always cheers me up when I get a chance to be active, to, be out and about. And like I had a really good workout today and saw a friend of mine, and I know that a lot of people would look at that like I went to a doctor's appointment today and had a good chat. I have a good chat later with some people about the second season of Heels potentially happening. And so a lot of people might look at that as chores, but I think that in order to cheer myself up, if I'm feeling down a little bit, I like to look at my day, at the beginning of my day, set goals. And then at the end of my day, just take a minute and think about if I accomplished them. And it could be little stuff. I mean, there's no such thing as a stupid goal, right?
Yeah.
If you want to eat well, if you want to sleep well, if you want to take a nap, if you want to fold your laundry or make your bed or something like that, just little things like that. I think that giving yourself a task and then completing it, even if it feels somewhat mundane, is really fun. It's good. Makes you feel good. And feeling good's the point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have a ritual or routine you do before you start filming a scene?
Well, before I start filming a scene, I always like to figure out what my scene partner wants to get out of the scene, because I'm a pretty easygoing person to work with. I make choices and I make decisions and I'm very prepared. But when I played Oliver Queen and when I'm playing Jack Spade, I am working more than anyone else. So as a result, I always want to figure out how they want to go about doing their work. So, right before a scene, I try to stay as relaxed as possible. That's my ritual, because if things have gone correctly, that means that I've done all of my preparation, right? Like there's nothing new to discover. There's no last minute cramming like you would last minute cram for an exam. No, you study, you let everything settle in your brain. I like saying you let it marinate. And then by the time you're actually doing your work, you're all relaxed.
Yeah. Cool. So I know that you've been involved with a lot of like cancer charities and mental health benefits and other charities. Why is it so important to you to give back?
Well, you can start with the selfish element of it. It makes me feel good. It really does. And when I just think that anything that you do can generate some momentum, positive things and negative things. If you do something negative and you feel bad about doing something negative, then you might be more inclined to do something negative again. If you do something positive and it makes you feel good, you might be more inclined to do something positive again. I never really set out to raise a bunch of money for charity. I just so happened to be introduced to some people that ran the charity F Cancer. And I mean, when I did my big, campaign talking about mental health, my Sincerely campaign, that happened because I meant to say sincerely, and I just said the word sincerely, and my friend made fun of me for it. So we decided to coin it into a word and turn it into a campaign. And doing that, is something that I could speak about passionately because my mom is a 2-time cancer survivor. So it's something that is close and personal to me. But, when I did it, I just got to meet so many cool people and I got to see the money that we raised actually get deployed and actually start to make a tangible difference. And, hopefully, because F Cancer mainly deals with education, for women, for breast cancer screenings, for ovarian cancer screenings, for men, for testicular cancer screenings, or for older gentlemen, for prostate cancer screenings. These are all things that, from an educational standpoint, can be preventative. And I think that education is preventative in nature because, as being around this, almost anything is treatable if you catch it early enough and you have a good plan. So being able to see real results, and then as a result of that, and sorry for the long-winded answer, people started identifying me with philanthropy, with charitable work, and, they bring me interesting opportunities or interesting people, or, you find out that I have an interest in that, and then I end up getting to talk to you. So the whole thing just has a momentum generating aspect, and it sort of like becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that you become involved in something, and then just by its nature of your involvement, you become more involved and more involved and more involved.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I love that. I have I actually have this is random, but another show recommendation for you.
Okay, good. Let me write it down.
Okay, well, actually, I don't know if it's a good recommendation.
Doesn't matter.
But Teen Wolf.
Yeah, okay. With Colton and with Tyler.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we just finished.
You don't mean the Michael J. Fox movie, right?
Right.
I know.
Yeah. No, I remember we watched it like a really long time ago, and so I don't remember it. But then when we started watching the show, my mom looked it up, and we found out it was like kind of like that's where the idea came from.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that one is I was obsessed with that one, and I was very sad when we finished it. So
Fair enough.
but at least there's going to be a movie. So
Is there?
yeah, it was just announced last week that they're making a movie.
Well, let me see if I can get in that, all right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And also I just when we were talking about Arrow, I actually have an Arrow necklace.
Does that say you have failed this city?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Really neat.
Yeah, I wore it every day while I was going through radiation, and so every day I wore this necklace. I watched Arrow. So.
And Maya, how is your health doing now?
It's it's good. Better. I went through some other stuff from radiation, but I'm starting to feel better and everything is stable. So
good.
Yeah.
Well, now that we know each other, now that we're kind of email pals, we can stay in touch and you can keep me updated, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would love that. Yeah. I actually I have a friend that I talked to about Arrow and the Flash, and so I told him every time I was interviewing someone from Arrow, and every time I was like, now I just need to get Stephen Amell on, and then and so.
Well, what happened? Did I what happened? Did I ignore you? Did I not hear about you? What happened?
No, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, when I actually heard from you, it took me so long to respond the first time, because for a while I just I saw the email and I just I wasn't breathing. My mom had to keep reminding me, okay, now
right.
breathe.
Because you didn't send an email to me, you sent an email to someone that I work with. And then they sent the email to me, and then I replied directly to you out of nowhere. So just all of a sudden, you're just sitting there, and then your email inbox says Stephen Amell, and you're probably like,
yeah,
okay, cool, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I called, and then after I told my mom, I called my sister, and then I texted my friend. I was like, "You're not gonna believe what happened."
Well, what's your friend's name?
His name is Skylar.
Skylar? Yeah. What's his last name?
Aston.
All right. Well, just so this is going to be recorded, right? All I have to say is, Skylar Aston, you have failed this city.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to tell him once this comes out, you need to watch it.
Oh, he hasn't watched it yet?
No, this interview.
He really has failed the city. Oh, watch the intro. Got it. Okay. I hear what you're saying. Well, you're gonna have to make sure that you give me the clip so that bunch of people can see it, and then we can get more people to go check out your other interviews too.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Well, I think just overall chats about patience and appreciating what you have are things that I think about a lot, but that's not necessarily advice per se. Maybe it's sage wisdom, as the case may be. I had a teacher once upon a time when I was graduating. His name was Courtney Shrimpton. And at the time, I was dabbling in a lot of different things, which is something that you do when you're 18 or 19 years old, like your age, right? And he said, it's fun to do a bunch of things, but he goes, once you get passionate about something, really focus your energy on one thing. And I know that sounds like a simple thing to say, but I think that sometimes the best advice is really simple advice. And he was just telling me that, once you find something that you're passionate about, just make that your thing. And that's what I've done with acting. So clearly, he was on the right track.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So what song would you want to announce your entrance into a room?
I mean, the Arrow theme music. It's really good. Blake Neely, who composed it, who created it, finally won an Emmy, I believe, for The Flight Attendant for his score on that. Overdue and well deserved. But it's such an iconic piece of music that clearly, or if Warner Brothers had a problem with that, we're like, no, that's copyrighted. Then boy, I would just have Blake make me something else.
Cool. Yeah, I think the Arrow theme song is a really good one to walk into, or I also think the Teen Wolf theme. So.
Well, I'm sorry, as much as I love Colton and Tyler, I am going to be slightly partial to the Arrow theme music. I hope you understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Oh boy. Well, the women in my life, my daughter is a young aspiring superhero. My mom is a superhero. I mean, she's a 2-time cancer survivor and probably the most positive person I've ever met. And, my wife, she's a superhero for putting up with all of my little idiosyncratic elements, and just me being a very occasionally needy and sometimes whiny actor, So the women in my life, for sure. And young people like you, getting to meet you and seeing how brave you can be going through something like what you went through. I find that very inspiring. And that is sort of by definition, makes you a superhero.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I would say my mom and my sister, and then I also think you're one of my superheroes.
Oh, thank you, Maya. I appreciate that.
So I just still can't believe I'm actually talking to you.
Well, you and I will, I'll tell you what, we'll email back and forth. We'll exchange. I assume you have like a cell phone and stuff like that. So you will exchange numbers so that we can stay in touch, and you can tell me when this comes up. And it's been really, really fun talking to you. I'm going to take my kiddo to her tennis lesson and then swim team.
Okay. Have fun with that.
Okay, Maya, say hi to your mom and your sister, and thank you very much. And if you ever need help booking any guests, you just text me, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, fair deal. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for
Bye-bye.
spending so much
Bye.
time with us. Bye bye.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.